Hi, I'm Rebecca, and this is a creativity prescription writing tutorial about audience. Why should you care about audience? Don't writers just come up with an idea and write it down with no concern for what anyone else will think? That's one approach. But in today's world, everyone is super busy and nobody has time to waste. So why would you want to waste your time writing something that nobody will read? If you have a story to share or a message to impart, you want to make sure it's reaching the right people. For example, I'm producing this video for new writers. This is not a video for painters nor for photographers. Some of the same principles may apply, but as you continue watching this video, you'll understand that it's really meant for you. So that means you are my audience. I'm going to cover a lot in this 15-minute tutorial. I'll start by talking about how to apply audience considerations for a nonfiction story. Then I'll dive into the different types of audiences for fiction. You're writing nonfiction. Let's say you want to write a piece about learning to drive. Here are the things to consider that relate to audience. 1. How old is your audience? Is this a piece for teenagers who are getting ready to drive for the first time? Or is it a piece for adults who, for some reason, are just getting their driver's license? Perhaps it's a piece for parents of teenagers who are starting to learn to drive. Maybe you're going to write a piece for drivers who've been driving but have recently been impaired and now need to learn how to drive using assistive technologies. Those are 4 very distinct audiences, and I'm going to unpack now what the different considerations will be for each of them. And of course, these are just examples because, you probably aren't writing a story about driving. When you decide who you're writing for, it will affect everything, including the length of the piece, the tone of the piece, certain words and phrases which apply to some groups and not others. I'm not suggesting that you adopt a fake tone to appeal to any particular audience. Teenagers have experienced more than their fair share of adult writers trying to appeal to them by sounding cool. But teens are smart and they know when someone is faking it to try to impress them. An example of what I mean by tailoring your language to speak to your audience is this. If you're writing for teens, you're probably not going to talk about the impact of an accident on their parents' auto insurance. Why? Because teens' brains are not yet wired to care about that. However, if you're writing the article for the parents of new teen drivers, that will be a consideration that they deeply care about, and so you'll want to include that type of language and that type of information. There will be certain terms you will use if you're writing a piece about learning to drive using assistive technology that you just won't use for an audience that's not facing that particular challenge. The types of outlets where you plan to share this information also will affect your audience. What do you really have to say on your topic? Is it really just a headline? Like, hey, don't text and drive? Great, that's a perfect social media post. And the social media outlet you use, again, will depend on your audience. You won't find a lot of teens on LinkedIn, but you will find them on Instagram or TikTok. Some are still on Twitter, and it seems like pretty much everyone, except me, is on Facebook. Now, if you intend to go in greater depth and to spend some time researching your subject, then you may have enough for a 300 to 500 word blog post. The number of types of blogs are varied, so again, it's important to research your audience and your outlet before you submit anywhere and before you even write. If you want to go even more deeply into the topic, you may have enough to cover a 1,000 to 5,000 word magazine article or even a series of articles. You could do a super deep dive, spend months, even years researching your nonfiction topic, and end up with enough material for a book. And if you're going to put that amount of time into a piece, you sure do want to know who you're writing for. In the world of fiction, different factors come into play when you're thinking about audience. These include age and genre. There are certain topics you probably won't even address for children, or if you do take on difficult topics, you'll address them with great care and sensitivity appropriate for the age of your reader. A 5-year-old is neither emotionally nor intellectually ready to read a story about a murder, no matter how sensitively the topic is covered. If you're writing for young adults, you can be more candid, but you still need to be mindful of the emotional repercussions that the type of language you're choosing and the depth of descriptions you're offering will have on a young reader's mind. You don't want to traumatize anybody, right? And especially not a young child or a teenager. Adult readers can also be sensitive, but you don't need to take care of the adult reader in the same way that you do with a younger audience. Today, though, adult readers do expect a trigger warning if you're going to cover certain sensitive topics like rape, murder, genocide, and things of that nature. It's not that everyone will shy away from reading about that, but they want to know if such scenes will be graphic. And personally, I'm a huge fan of the Outlander series. I have to admit, I haven't read the books, but I'm hooked on the Netflix series. In fact, I'm the 3rd generation in my family to be engaged with this series, which is pretty wild when you think about it. But when I watch Outlander, I have to fast forward through a lot of the scenes because I cannot handle graphic scenes of rape or dismemberment. And I have friends who simply cannot even watch the series at all, nor can they read the books because they can't handle those topics no matter how sensitively they're covered. But again, with an adult audience, as long as we are given the warning, we appreciate the opportunity to choose for ourselves, don't we? Now, the other top audience consideration is genre. Outlander is a great example of a fantasy romance, which is a hybrid genre. Both the time travel, a fantasy element, and the love story, the romance element, are crucial elements of this story. Without one, you wouldn't have the other. So this series of novels and TV shows is a genre hybrid. I will go into greater depth about the specifics of genre in my online course, The Basics of Story. For now, it's important to understand that if you're writing fiction for young adults, new adults, or adults, you will have to deal with genre. Whether you create a hybrid piece, a literary work, women's lit, or genre fiction, you need to be clear about the audience because readers have expectations. And when those expectations are not met, readers get grumpy. And grumpy readers write bad reviews. Personally, as a writer, I find it clarifying to understand reader expectations. These expectations of genre serve as my guideposts as I dive into the journey of a new book. It can take years to write a novel in any genre, and personally, I don't want to spend years crafting a hodgepodge that no one will read. So here's what it comes down to. I write for myself first. I write the types of books that I want to read. And because I want my books to reach other people, I recognize the importance of meeting my readers' needs too. Now, if you prefer to write stories and just hide them in a drawer, show them to no one, then none of this even applies to you. You're getting your joy out of putting the words on the page, and really that's all that matters. Most writers I know want to connect with readers, but some of us would actually like to sell our work rather than give it away for free. In that case, understanding your audience and the expectations of the genre is crucial, because if you don't understand it, then the gatekeepers, otherwise known as magazine editors, literary agents, and publishers, will put your submission in the circular file, also known as the trash. Here's my quick rundown of genre expectations. Again, I will cover these in depth in my online course, The Basics of Story. Literary fiction is expected to have a certain level of elevated language, and it tends to be very thematic. Genre fiction focuses on specific elements. Genres include science fiction, fantasy, romance, mystery, and horror. Each genre has a number of subgenres with additional expectations. And as I mentioned earlier, genres can be combined. A few popular hybrids are sci-fi fantasy, fantasy romance, and romantic suspense. In science fiction, we're looking into the future and envisioning a world that doesn't yet exist. It may be a future Earth or a future on a planet that, as far as we know at this point, is not inhabited. In this genre, world building is a key consideration. Mystery involves a crime. The type of crime will be affected by the subgenre of mystery, but it may be a theft, a murder, or anything in between. Here, the focus tends to be on the person or persons solving the crime, whether they are professional or amateurs. Professional detectives include Hercule Poirot and Sherlock Holmes. One of the world's great amateur detectives is Nancy Drew. In romance, the love story is central, and readers expect an ending with a happy union for the couple. This may be a happily ever after, also known as marriage, or it may be a happy for now ending. Fantasy can involve time travel or jumping between different worlds. Fantasy tends to skew contemporary or historical rather than futuristic, unless of course you're reading or writing a hybrid sci-fi fantasy. So how do you know which genre you should write? Well, first, there really are no shoulds, but I think realistically, you will most enjoy writing the genre that you most enjoy reading. If you love reading everything, I invite you to try the genre exploration exercise that you'll find on my website. Remember, who you write for must influence how you write. Consider the reader's needs and wants. A nonfiction reader's age and lifestyle must affect your writing's tone and style, plus the outlets where you submit or post. Fiction readers are seeking entertainment. Make sure it's age appropriate. Meet expectations of literary or genre fiction, and you'll have happy readers. Literary fiction is theme-heavy with an elevated style. Science fiction is set in a future Earth or distant galaxy. Romance fiction tells a love story that ends in union, and mystery readers want to see a sleuth solving a case. I hope this tutorial gave you a little bit of insight into the importance of choosing your audience before you write, and then writing for them specifically. It will save you so much time in figuring out how to proceed as you go from that ever-scary blank page to a whole bunch of pages that are filled with your engaging work. Happy writing!